All right. So for my next question is, all right. So when you make a beat, do you normally just stay in the machine, or do you open up Logic and then use machine with Logic at the same time, or you just use machine just in general?
Um,
If that made any sense.
for the most part, I stay in Machine. Um, Only because Machine software is pretty much a dumbed down version of a DAW, pretty much.
Okay.
It doesn't have all the bells and whistles as Logic, Reason, Studio One, Ableton, but for the most part, your workaround, everything is right here in this one screen. This whole area, everything is right here for you. So you can do your edits. Um, if you look on the hardware, let me get out of browse. Um, Sampling opens up sampling. Do my record. As you can see, the levels are moving. If I start recording, oh, I'm sorry, I have it on detect. If I start 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3,
Yeah, I can see that right there at the bottom.
yeah,
So basically, this is like for us old school guys,
yeah,
um, like a MPC in a sense.
yes.
Or actually no, we'll upgrade it a little bit. The MV8000.
Yes, I would match it towards the MV8000 more than I would the MPC, but at the
It's
same time, it
10:30.
has the same workaround as an MPC. I'm not really one to say which one is better than the other one, but it gets the work done just like an MPC, MV8000. But as far as the MV8000 having everything all in one screen, where you just had the controller and you had if you hooked up your monitor to it, everything was right there all in one screen. That's pretty much a vivid, spot on representation of Machine.
So for all you viewers out there, just so you know, actually how I met Corey was actually playing, I believe it was 360.
Yeah.
Then we found out we were actually on the same forum, which was, and you're gonna laugh because I know you're gonna remember this forum, the
MV
MV8000
Nation.
forum. So,
MV Nation.
yeah, MV Nation, man. That's how we met up. Even we found out that we both had the love of music, and then from there we both owned the MV8000.
Hmm.
And if you guys don't know what that is, it was made by Roland. It was basically supposed to be their competition to the MPC, and it was a really cool workstation
It
in a
really
sense.
was. It really was.
I mean, you could hook up a monitor and a mouse to it. You can burn DVDs from it. It had like an 80 gig hard drive in it.
You were able to mix it and do a light
Yeah,
master all in one. It had a
the sampling
expansion.
was, I mean,
The
the
sampling
sampling
was
was crazy in
oh,
that thing.
the
It
sampling was
really was.
tremendous. Oh, I loved it. And
Yeah.
mapping out your drum kits and everything. It was 1 2 3 in the
Yep, it
blink of an
was
eye. It was
super
so
super
easy.
easy.
Yeah,
So I wish Roland would have really took the time to just keep that going because I really think that would have been something special.
yeah.
But I'm
I've
glad that the machine came out, and I'm glad the Native Instruments stepped up their game and they made the machine because I really like it. It kind of gives me the best of both worlds of the MPC, and the MV8000. I mean, I still have love for the MPC because that was my very very first MPC was an MPC 2000 Studio, and man, when I mean I saved up. I mean I saved up for months and months and months, but when I had that thing at home, whew, it was a sight to see. Let me
listen.
tell you.
True story. Me and my one of my homeboys, we were doing stuff we weren't supposed to be doing, and he took his money and bought a MPC 2000 and never told me. He told me to just come through to his crib because he wanted to show me something. All right, I procrastinate, and I came through one day, and he showed it to me, and I've only seen pictures of it from people like DJ Premier, Pete Rock, et
Yeah,
cetera, et cetera. So when I saw it
it was
right
like
in front of me, yeah,
oh.
it was like I thought I peed a little bit in my drawers because
Man,
it was
when I first saw it at the store, I'm like, oh, because how I learned about it was I was going through, I think it was a Scratch magazine,
yes,
and then I
yes,
saw Dr. Dre on an NPC. You know, back then it's not like how it is now. Back then you needed bread to actually make music.
yeah, you you
You
really
really
did.
needed some money because
Listen,
you weren't like everybody has it made now because you can do everything with software. Back then you needed actual hardware.
listen, this day and age, music is pretty much handed to
Yeah,
everyone because everyone can do it anywhere with anything. Back then, nah, you had to save up and cough up some
yeah,
money to
yep.
get equipment, and it was not cheap.
I
It
think it
was
was like
not
mine
cheap.
costed me $2,800
I think
when I
he got his used from I think it was Sam Ash here in New York,
man,
and
they don't have those used where I was at. I
and
was
and I
when
think
I bought mine, the only way I could get it was brand new.
he had a floor model. That's the only reason he was able to get it, and I think he paid maybe 1,800 for it for a floor model. Mind you, floor model, not new, and it was $1,800.
Man, I've thought about getting one just to have one,
hmm
but it's like why? Because it would just it would just really be just sitting there just because I would probably never use it because the workflow on it I could still use it because of the workflow. I know how to use it. I'm really good with it,
hmm
but it would slow me down a little bit because I'm so used to using Logic and the machine is pretty easy.
That I
I would be a lot more efficient, and I need to have a fast workflow because you know us. When we have an idea, we only got
it's
minutes to get it out before it's like, shit, how did that pattern go again?
when you got an idea and you have a family, your
Yes.
ideas have to come one, two, three. Because at any given time, the people that are running around in your house will disrupt the hell out of that idea, and you will be so upset because now
Yep.
that idea is gone. So,
That's kind of why actually, in a sense, I stopped uh, making beats because that and I don't know. I still love music. I mean, I love making sounds more now, just because it's not the stress isn't there for music production.
hmm
It's not the same. You know what I mean?
yeah, I understand.
And I can come and go with sounds versus beats, where like there's times where yeah, where you can make a beat literally in about 10-15 minutes. You can make the the structure
Yeah.
as
hmm
far as like the melody, the hook within that time frame. And then there's times where it takes you hours or days to actually make a beat, and we don't have that luxury like we used to when we were younger. Like when I didn't have kids and stuff like that, and I could just focus on just making music. Psh, I'd be in my studio, production studio, I should say. I would be in my production studio for hours,
Yeah.
hours.
Can I tell you the only time that I work on music is Friday nights into Saturday morning because I know I don't have to get up early to go to work. I know everybody is asleep and I can put my headphones on. Saturday night into Sunday morning, everybody's asleep. I can put my headphones on. During the weekday, if I can
It's
even
impossible.
if
It's
I can
almost impossible.
if I can even load a beat up into Machine and actually spend 5 minutes on it without somebody coming in here, that's actually good. But
Not only that, but like you get home, you're just exhausted from the day
yes,
to day, and then you're fighting to try to like you're like, man, I really want to make this beat, or you really want to work on something, but I'm just so exhausted.
sometimes I sit in front of here and Machine is looking at me like, "Why did you turn me on?
Exactly.
What was the purpose of you turning me on? I know you're not going to do anything. You're tired."
So I wanted to give our viewers a little bit of some background about us, and also talk about like some of the things that we've done and and have seen in our time. But on the last question, that I had was how easy is it to make your own drum kit with the machine? Like if I wanted to make my own custom drum, like I already have all my sounds
Hmm.
ready to go in the folder. Like how easy would it be to like just make a quick, 12 or even 16 sound drum kit inside the machine? Is it better faster to do it in the software or because I know it's kind of like both hardware and software.
Um, it's quicker to do it in the software than the hardware. And the only
Okay.
reason I say that is because the workflow that I have is just easier for me to just work with the software. Now, if I'm in the process of working on a beat, I work with the hardware only because my focus a lot of times is with the hardware. I really don't pay attention to the software when I'm working on a beat.
Okay.
But when it comes to wanting to do a drum kit or a sound kit, whatever you want to make, I normally use the software because it's like I said, I can go up to the icons up here, um, go into my stash, wait for it to load up, and then let's say these are all my categories, all the stuff that I have. Let's say I got a drum kit from Jake One. Let's see what he has. So I can either drag this up to the first pad or just double click. As long as that pad is highlighted, if I double click it,
Hmm.
as you can see, so now um, on the hardware, you have your polyphony. It automatically sets to 8. You can turn it down to 1. You can put it legato, whichever your preference. It goes up to 64. From legato to 64. I normally put it on 1 because that's just the old school way. And if I hit pad mode, what pad mode shows me is my choke group, which is the very first one on the left. And
Okay.
I'll put that to 1. Let's say it's a loop. I will automatically go to the choke group, put it on 1, and I can chop that up, and then they'll cut each other off. Your fixed velocity, your 16 velocities, where
Yeah, it came from the NPC right
yep,
there.
yes indeed. You can hit your keyboard. Your keyboard is pretty much like your DAWs when you have your what is it, the grid editor.
Okay.
So you can
Oh,
draw,
so yeah, like in Logic.
yeah. So you can draw out, as you can see, got the different octaves. Now on the right side of the screen, you have your octave up and your octave down, your semitones up and your semitones down, and
Hmm.
in the window it shows you what pad is. Like this pad is C3, this is D3, C4, D4, etc., etc. And you have your scales, which one thing that I do appreciate about Maschine, it has scale types and it has chord types. So if I turn the chord on, you have your harmonizer, your chord set, and it even gives you different types of majors, minors, suspended. So you can really, really do a lot with your drum kit designing, your sound kit designing. Um, it gives you a lot of flexibility. So if I get out the keyboard, I hit fixed velocity. So now I don't have to worry about the sound diminishing or anything like that. If I want the sound to diminish, just apply a little bit of pressure. I'll go to the next pad and let's see what else he has.
Just pretty much double click then.
Yep, and I'll double click that. There you go. So
Oh
now
man, this is gonna make it easy.
they
So this is what I'm gonna do. Since for all the viewers who actually made it that are making it to the end of this video, um, I'm going to be giving away some drum loops. These are custom drum loops made from Sounds Empire. Uh, that's my team, and you can't get them anywhere. So these will be exclusive. You'll only be able to get them through Corey's YouTube and mine, which is Myaudiomarketplace. And Corey, what's yours?
mine's is 730 Productions.
So make sure. So I'm gonna have Corey's YouTube channel linked in my description below. So you'll only be able to get it from us. You won't be able to get it anywhere else. There are gonna be 10 free exclusive drum loops, and they're pretty good. And you'll be able to throw them in your drum machine or any DAW, and you can chop them up, use them the way you need to, royalty free. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate everything that you've done, Corey. I don't want to give them too much. We want to make sure they come back. So we're gonna be doing our best to meet up every Saturday at 10 o'clock for a few minutes to review some things on the machine, and I'm going to be learning a lot of things because I've like I said, I've only found a few videos, and I would rather reach out to someone that I know personally that can show me and take the time to really educate me on how to use the machine.
And this is what
So
I'm here for.
the next time Corey and I meet up, I want to be the next question I'm going to ask him is how to actually really chop up sample loops. If you watch any of Corey's videos, he does that the flip samples on Saturdays. Is that am I correct to say that?
Yeah, sample flip Saturdays. It's Machine Masters every Saturday they put out a folder with maybe 4 or 5 uh, wave files, and they tell you can use it to your discretion to flip the samples. So that's what I pretty much do on Saturdays and try to post videos up. I didn't post one this Saturday because I was out all day, but I will chop one up and still put a video out on that. So look out for that this week.
Make sure you guys follow Corey. Obviously subscribe with myaudiomarketplace.com. Corey has some tight beats. So make sure you check out some of his beats as well. And we're gonna be doing some more videos, like I said. And this is gonna be great. It's gonna be great content. If you guys have any questions, you want to learn something, make sure you leave comments below on Corey's video as well as my audio marketplace because we will make sure if we can, we'll get it into that episode. Otherwise, we'll get it into the following week. And with that being said, this is Jose from My Audio Marketplace, and Corey, I'm
Big,
leaving it up to you.
this is Big Bolo 73 for 730 Productions. I really want to thank Jose for inviting me for this interview. This was really great. I truly appreciate this. And we will be back next Saturday for another one.